So, as a musician, I'm just going to say it. When the rhythm is off, I can feel it. I can be in church clapping along with the praise team, and if someone near me is offbeat, I feel it to my bones. I have to remind myself, Susan, this is not about the rhythm. It's not about you. It's about worshiping the Lord. And that's what I have to tell myself. But when the rhythm of my life gets off, that's even harder to adjust to. Because see, I like order, I like structure, and when something throws that off, it takes me a whole hot minute to find my footing again. Welcome to Make and Encouragement in Chaos. I'm Susan Rayner, pastor's wife, homeschooling mom, musician, baker, and your friend in the middle of the mess. If this is your first time listening, welcome, and if you're back again, thank you, because I am so glad that you're here. So last time in episode 5, we talked about what it feels like when life shifts gears unexpectedly. When everything feels like it's moving too fast and you're trying to catch up. If you missed that episode, I hope that you'll go back and give it a listen because it sets the stage for what we're talking about today. Because sometimes life doesn't just shift, it stalls. The rhythm gets completely thrown off and you're left wondering how to pick up the beat again. So let's talk about some rhythm. Now, I married this man who thrives on spontaneity. He's organized in his own way, bless him, a way that I don't understand, nor do I really care to learn, because I like plans. He likes to decide as we go, and I like lists, and he likes just whatever vibes, I don't know. And you know what? His way drives me insane. And my way drives him crazy too. But somehow we make it work. In fact, maybe it's confession time. I have 2 calendars and 2 Trello boards. One for the blog and one for the church. And I mean, if that doesn't scream planner, I don't know what does. But his spontaneity has been really good for me. It's taught me to loosen up, and my structure, it's helped him to stay on track too. So we've grown from each other, and now our kids are teaching us too. But then there are those shifts that aren't personality based, the ones that God initiates. So I'm gonna go back in time a little bit, and I'm gonna give you a little history about myself and my husband. So several years ago, we had been married for almost 17 years, and I was in prayer, and I heard the Lord say, "Your move will be swift." Now, I felt the nudge to start packing, but I ignored it because you see, I was the kid who said I'd live in my parents' backyard if they'd let me. Moving? No. Not even happening, not even part of my plan. My husband and I were youth pastors at the church that I had grown up in, and we were praying to be used more in the ministry, but we weren't looking to move. And then we were visiting friends in Colorado. We started going up the mountain in our car, and all of a sudden it just overheats. And we pull over because we was like, there's nothing wrong with this car. We had it checked before we left. We're fine. But it overheated. And so we pulled over on the side of the road, and right then the phone rang. And it was someone asking if we'd consider pastoring a home missions church in Texas. Texas! That was our first response. No way. It's hot, number one. Texas is not. No. We didn't have jobs. We had no house. We had no plans. But as we prayed, God confirmed it over and over again through a dream, through the quick sale of our house, which is a whole other story, through the kind of peace that only comes from obedience. And just like that, our rhythm was completely upended. We packed everything into storage and just a long trailer and moved, trusting that if God called us, He would provide. When I think of rhythm shifts, I think of Joseph. See, he had rhythm in his family until God gave him a dream. That one dream changed everything in Joseph's life. His brothers turned on him. He was sold into slavery, but he rose to favor. But then he was wrongly accused and thrown into prison, and he was forgotten. See, his rhythm was destroyed over and over again. And yet he kept trusting. He kept obeying. And eventually he was elevated to a place where he could save his family and a nation. Genesis 50:20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Joseph's rhythm wasn't random, it was preparation. So what do we do when our rhythm feels off? When life doesn't match our tempo? Well, I'm going to give you 5 reminders that have anchored me in those moments. Number 1, find a place to pray. Before Jesus ever performed a miracle, he prayed. Before he chose his disciples, he prayed. Before he faced the cross, he prayed. And more than that, he withdrew to pray. Luke 5:16 says, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." It wasn't about the location, it was about the connection. But solitude helped clear the distractions so that he could lean into his Father. And if Jesus needed that kind of prayer life, then so do we. Maybe for you, it's your front porch before the house wakes up, or a quiet moment in your car before grabbing the groceries. For me, some of my most honest prayers have come while driving. I'll picture Jesus in the passenger seat, and I'm just like, "Okay, God, just sit right here beside me and let's have this little chit chat." And I start talking to him like he's my best friend, because he is. And I pour it all out, the frustrations, the fears, the "I don't know what to do" moments. And time after time, his peace settles in. See, we don't have to wait for the perfect moment to pray. We just have to start praying. God isn't looking for polished words. He's looking for a willing heart. So number 2, ask God to cleanse your heart and bring peace. When your rhythm is off, your emotions often run high. You might feel agitated, anxious, or overwhelmed, but God offers peace that passes all understanding. Psalms 51:10, one of my favorite verses. I've got a lot of favorite verses, but this is one of my favorites too. "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." That's not just a prayer for forgiveness, it's a request for realignment. Let him clear the clutter in your heart. Ask him to wash away the stress and give you calm where there's chaos. And number 3, get into his word. I can't stress this enough. When your rhythm is off, go back to the word. Let it be your metronome, your steady beat, when everything feels unpredictable. Just one verse can steady your whole day. I've had moments where a single scripture got me through an entire week. Psalms 119 and 105 says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." See, we don't always get to see the whole road, but the word will give you just enough light to take the next right step. Because those steps that you don't know what is coming next, sometimes those are the scariest, because there's nothing there for you to take a step on. And I want to encourage you that if you are interested in praying the word, go to makeandmaking.com, and I have a whole blog post about praying the word, and I have scriptures that you can even print off to help you pray the word in times of stress and pain and unbelief. Check it out. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4. Some of you are going to balk at this, but it is a necessary part of keeping us with our rhythm, getting it aligned. But that's fast. We need to fast. Fasting isn't just about food, it's about focus. So when your rhythm is off, fasting can quiet your flesh long enough for your spirit to hear clearly. So whether it's one meal, one day, or one distraction that you set aside, God honors it. Joel 2:12 says, "Even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning." See, fasting helps reset our rhythm from earthly chaos to divine alignment. And last but not least, number 5, take one small step. So you don't have to fix everything at once. You don't have to figure it all out. Just take one small step forward, one act of obedience, one call, one prayer, one moment of courage. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." God doesn't expect perfection. He desires movement. And sometimes that one step is enough to change everything. So if your rhythm feels off today, emotionally, spiritually, or even practically, I want you to know you're not the only one. God's not thrown off by your offbeat days. He is still leading. He is still faithful. So let these reminders sink in. Find a place to pray. Ask God to cleanse your heart and bring peace. Get into His Word. Fast and take one small step. And let me remind you of this. The same God who shifted Joseph's rhythm, who led us to Texas with nothing but faith, is the same God holding your life in His hands right now. So if today's episode encouraged you, I'd love it if you would share it with a friend. You can head over to makeandmaking.com for more encouragement or sign up for my email list for a midweek pick-me-up right to your inbox. And don't forget, our next episode is coming in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I hope that I've encouraged you today. I feel this in my heart to stick with these things, because when our rhythm is off, it's hard to keep pushing forward. But I know that you've got this, and I want you to remember that I am always praying for you, even if I don't know who you are. God bless.